What is going on, everyone? Scion's here with the Everyday Grind, here to talk to you about, yes, another video, 9.2 Eternity's End Shadowlands. There's a lot to cover, but I just wanted to give you my reaction to what I thought and a couple things that I had questions about. So far, so good. It looks good. It looks okay, but we're going to get into that here in a few minutes. Don't forget to catch my live streams right here on YouTube 5 days a week. Come on in, forget your world, join mine, have a great time, and we're just going to play some games and have some fun. Shadowlands 9.2, Eternity's End. What do I think about it? And what are maybe some bumps and bruises along the way? I don't think there's too many. Let's go. Here we are with the new Shadowlands 9.2 video. I didn't want to watch the entire video and comment on it because a lot of you have seen a lot of that. A lot of you have seen the video. But one of the things I had questions about was tier sets, and something that was said that I thought was kind of funny, but I want people to think about what was said and really think about how it was said and why it was said. So let's get into what exactly was said about tier sets.
We know players have been waiting a long time for the return of tier sets, and as devs, we have too.
Right there. As devs, we have too. So you have to remember that the development team, for the most part, kind of goes out on a limb and makes things and does things. But at the end of the day, they have bosses that they report to. And if the bosses come down and say, hey, guys, we're not doing tier sets anymore. We're going to do this instead. We're going to do Azerite armor. The dev team says, okay, boss. So I believe her when she says that the dev team wants to get back to tier sets, because I believe in my heart that the dev team knew that tier sets were very popular. People loved tier sets. Look at other games, Elder Scrolls Online, tier sets all over the place. People love tier sets. That's just the way it is. So I thought this was a weird thing to say, but I think she said it in a way to help us understand where the dev team's at. I think it's a step in the right direction. But that's about as much time as I want to spend on the video, because there's other things that I wanted to talk about. Mainly, the Sepulchre of the First One's raid is time-gated. It's time-gated. The new raid consists of 11 bosses, and Anduin appears as the 8th named character. During the first open week of the raid, you will face up to Anduin. That means you got 3 more bosses after that you can't access. This part was intentionally planned and allowed us to take a closer look at Anduin's story before the final showdown. You can learn a lot from his story. While the full 11 bosses will become available on the second week when Mythic difficulty and the first wing of LFR releases. I really like that. And it is a gamble, and it's pretty ballsy, and I'm really excited about that. I think that Blizzard is trying to tell us, hey, we hear some things that you're saying. We're listening. We're actively listening, and we're trying to act on some of those things. My hope, and I understand hope is not a plan, my hope is that we're finally at a place where Blizzard is listening to feedback from their consumer base, from their player base. I get that you're on the top of the mountain and things look pretty good at the top of the mountain, but as we've seen over the last several months, you can fall from the top of the mountain. You have to listen to the people who play your game. It's important. You can't say, oh yeah, we hear you, and then never say anything again and just do what you want. It doesn't last very long, as we're seeing. So World of Warcraft still at the top of MMOs as far as anything that I can see. Active subscriptions, people watching the game, people playing the game. It's still there. It's just some of the upper tier streamers not showcasing the game, which has, I would say, hurt it a little bit. But I think Blizzard's listening now. We're going to see. It's a waiting game. But let's move on. The next thing I wanted to talk about is I want to talk about the double legendary. Double legendary, boys and girls. Here we go. Here's the restrictions. Here is the restrictions. We will be able to have 2 legendaries equipped. I kind of saw this coming way back in alpha. I'm like, these are a lot of legendaries. I will bet you at some point we will be able to equip 2. Scions, once again, with a little patience, is right. And here's how. 2 legendaries will be coming, but you can only equip your Covenant legendary and 1 other legendary. So I have already put my character in place, my main character that I raid with, have both legendaries. They're both at the top. I'm good to go. I just need to finish the storyline that's going to come out. So remember, with patch 9.2, no more covenants, no more renown level grind, but you will get new dailies. You will also get a new rep grind. It's part of it, my friends. It's part of it. Some things are going to be time gated. It's okay. Remember, these games are not made to play from sun up to sundown 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. They can't make content for a game like that. And Warcraft is popular. That's why we asked for it, right? Because we love the game. So here's how I think this is going to work. Torghast is no longer required to get legendary currency. Instead, it's coming from the new zone, Zereth Mortis, which, by the way, has a great language feature. I can't wait to dive into that a little bit and see how it goes. That's also going to be time gated, right? I'm okay with that. I'm okay with the time gating as long as the time gating isn't exponentially long. And I'm just waiting and waiting and waiting, and it's exhausting. Going back to the legendary, is the legendary item system supposed to endure in eternity's end? Yes, players will have access to new level tiers for legendary items. It's going to be a balancing nightmare, I think. The materials required to upgrade these items will no longer come from Torment, the Tower of the Damned, but from Zereth Mortis directly. Cosmetics and other things will always be available in Torment, but we have a feeling that the requirement to go through this tower every week to gradually gain power is something that players want to see come to an end. So that's what we're offering. I absolutely agree with Ian on that. I think that Blizzard missed I would say they missed the target in Torghast. There was a lot of feedback in Torghast. A lot of us gave them. They didn't want to take it. So Torghast, while it was a great try, was kind of a bust. So it's good to see that they're moving on from Torghast. I'm fine with that. A lot of people call it Borghast. I get it. In addition, with their advance to Zereth Mortis, players will have the opportunity not only to equip the legendary item linked to their congregation, weird word, but also another legendary simultaneously. You will therefore be able to wear 2 legendaries at a time, one from each category at the end of your journey. It's going to be time gated. It's going to be time gated. You can't stop that. And that's okay. That's okay. The other thing I wanted to talk about, like I said, the new zone, it's a zone. When I looked at it, it was a zone. It was okay. The tier sets coming back are awesome. I think that the double legendary thing is awesome. I think the Sepulcher, the raid thing is awesome. I don't know if they're going to do testing on the last 3 bosses of the raid. I think that's also a great idea. But the final major patch of the story, 9.2, this is it. This is where we're at. This is the end of the story. And I think it was a good call. I think that with COVID and with the amount of time it's taking them to push content out, it was the right move. I don't hold it against them. I'm not angry. I'm not upset. It's a game. It's supposed to be fun. So we went to 9.15. Okay. Now we're going to 9.2. I'm good with it. I'm totally good with it. So we're going to go after the jailer. He's going to be the final boss. I was watching another video where they said the jailer's the final boss, not Anduin. They said the jailer was going to be the final boss right out of the gate, right in the last raid. I kind of had a feeling that it wouldn't go to 9.3. There was just too much going on. So when they said, hey, 9.2 is it, I was fine with it. A lot of people were shocked by that. Why would you drag it out? No reason to. What I'm really interested in is what's going to happen moving forward and going forward. I'm excited about that. There was also an answer to the final season of Shadowlands, which many were curious about. Shadowlands was planned as a total of 3 chapters before the pandemic. See that? I didn't even read that, and we got right in there. Adding that this patch 9.2 is the last chapter, it said that there was no artificially reduced or adjusted content to match the next expansion pack cycle. We're fine. We're good. You're not missing anything. The final patch, I'm excited about it. The history they talked about the threads coming together and all the stories and all that, I'm not really seeing that, but we'll see how it goes. Am I excited for 9.3? I'm sorry, 9.2. Yes, I am. With a but. It's all on Blizzard's shoulders. It's all about what are they going to do with it? Are they going to listen to the player base? I think this is a critical time for them. And I would expect to see Scion's prediction. We're going to talk late February, early March, we're going to start. We're going to start 9.2. I have a feeling that we're going to get into what is it, 10.0 or the next expansion. We're going to see that 9.4. I don't know what they're going to do or how they're going to get there, but I think that that's what we're going to see at the end of the year. I think if it's not at the end of the year, it's going to be at the first of the year. So that gives plenty of time. They've got testing coming up here really soon. That gives them about 3.5 months. If they've been spending the amount of time as they've said they have on this patch, I'm fine with it. Just don't rush it. Please, please, please don't rush it. Make it good. That's it for me, everybody. Just some thoughts from Scion's a 12-year player of Warcraft. This is what I'm thinking right now. I'm encouraged by what I'm seeing, but it's not over yet, is it? Don't forget to like and subscribe to this video and join me 5 nights a week right here on YouTube. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.